Welcome to the show, the Big Boy X Morning Crypto Show. Guys, today we are going to take a look at a lot of super exciting things in the market. First and foremost, Pyth, which I said was my number one pick of the year, hasn't had the greatest year, but you see why I said it now. And we'll talk about it. If you don't know yet, we'll talk about what that means. The U.S. government has adopted Pyth and Chainlink, of course. Along with some other coins, but this was a big announcement, and we're going to talk about that a pretty good bit. So let's go ahead and get started. Here we are in the markets. CoinGecko here. Give me 1 second. I got to close this door. All right, I am back. Okay, so let's go ahead and start looking at, let's see, that one, no, but this one. Okay. Okay, it is there at a stage. Okay. All right, so what's going on with the markets today? Let's take a look. $3.899 trillion. I always want to say trillion. I guess trillion sounds a little better. 24-hour volume, 162.4 or 0.604 billion. Very similar to yesterday's, a tick higher. And Bitcoin dominance, 56.4%, and ETH dominance, 13.6%. So ETH dominance, we're going to look at some bullish stories for ETH today. However, 2 days in a row, we have seen it decline next to Bitcoin. Okay, so we got Bitcoin coming in at 110,494. We're going to talk about why that's very important here very soon. Ethereum coming in at 43.89, XRP at 287. We like it above $3, a little bit better than we like it now. Obviously, a better purchase now. Solana at $210. It's had a good week. I wanted to take a look at, and where's Cardano at? Cardano down here, number 11, down 4% for the day. So some of these altcoins, what we're seeing is some of these altcoins are retracing some of their gains from yesterday. Yesterday was a big day. There were a lot of good pumpers. For the week, oh, there it is. Look at that. Pyth Network. I called it my coin of the year. You guys can see it had an amazing jump up after a really long period of just being stable. Boom. We like to see that. CRO, same thing. When you look at a chart like this, and it looks like I would say it looks kind of like a Loch Ness monster, right? Putting his head out of the water. When you see that, it's usually news-driven. So CRO got all this big news-driven stuff going on with it. That it is what the president is doing with it and some other things. But Pyth Network also had some big news this week, and boom, it's escaping me what the CRO. What was the CRO news? I can't remember. Let's see. Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. It was going to be their reward token for Truth Social, Trump's basically social media. So then after that, you got Solana. I mean, it's a good day if you watch this channel because Solana, CRO, and Pyth. I mean, these are three of the five biggest ones that we've pushed, and there they are right there in the top four. Yeah, top four gainers of the week. You can't count Binance Stake Sol. I don't think because it's the same price. Should be about the same price as Solana. A little bit different right now. Okay, so there's Jito, another coin that we talked about, but that's just staked as well. Jupiter, a project I like. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we just nailed so many of these top ones right now. It's really good. Hope you guys are all doing well. I may look at the chat sometimes today. We'll see. But this is what I want to start with. I want to start with what is a megaphone pattern and why would we be talking about that? Well, we would be talking about that because it's possible that we are in one of these patterns. And what is it? It basically looks like a megaphone. You see it comes kind of high candles up here or a lot of green candles in a very unique line here. Boom, hits there, hits there, hits there, hits there. But this is the handle of the megaphone. This is the mouth of the megaphone. Now, what we're in now, it can also be called a broadening wedge as well. But we're in a bullish one right now when you look at Bitcoin. We'll look a little bit closer at what's going on recently. But you can see there it is clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points at the bottom. So it does stand to reason that, very soon we could see. I hate when it does this. Okay. But very soon we could see it make the pattern where it jumps up. And if it goes out above the megaphone pattern, it is extremely bullish. What does it mean? Well, let's do this. How to spot one. Appearance within a trend or reversal scenario. Time frames, you can look at different ones. Time frames, use all your time frames for everything. So that kind of sounds silly to me. How to trade, you can trade it. The two major approaches when trading the broadening megaphone pattern. First is to get involved in swing trading, or the other is to trade breakouts. And this could potentially make it quite lucrative for you if this happens, because they're saying that this pattern here, you're probably like, why are you talking about this stupid megaphone pattern? Your voice is already loud enough. Why do you need that? Well, the fact is, guys, is that when you look at this, if it is true and we get this megaphone pattern and it plays out in the bullish scenario, which you can't have a bearish megaphone here. It's got to be bullish. Actually, to show that there was one. Yeah, this would be. See, this doesn't look like a megaphone. The bearish one looks like there's no handle backwards. You'd have to hold it backwards, and it just doesn't really look like what we've seen here. Bearish, they do have one, but it's not as nice and looking like a megaphone like the bullish one. So the daily chart of the leading crypto has formed two bullish megaphone patterns, potentially indicating a move towards new all-time highs. Target number 1, 144.2. I think that's reasonable. 206.8. Guys, I don't think that's possible. I don't want to ruin your day here. If that's the number you need to make your millions of dollars, I'm sorry. I just don't think it's going to happen. But we get a swift move up to 144.2, and that could be good. The other thing to really look at here when you think about it is, and we'll look at the charts in a little bit. Well, where are they? Where are the charts? We'll look at it in a little bit, but I forgot what I was going to say. I really did. What was I going to say, guys? Oh, man. I wish I could remember. But the point is that 206 is going to be really, really, really hard to get to, unless we're just in a nonstop bull market, like the stock market, where the gains are smaller, but more consistent over time. And I still say no to that. I'm just such a strong believer in the Bitcoin 4-year cycle because it has never let me down. Every single time we have a halving, the market goes up. So this time was interesting because Bitcoin previously hit a new all-time high before the bull market technically start, before the halving. So it's really interesting to think about, but it's so hard for me to see that. But like I said, I remember what I was doing here. I was talking about there is a story somewhere we're going to talk about with Ethereum looking like it's got a long-term bull study, a long-term bullish study. That's what they say. Okay, so BTC bullish megaphone pattern for the last 280 days. So are we going to break out of this, and are we going to go up quickly? That will be good news. If you want to trade, we have links down below for Phemex and, of course, Bydfi. Bydfi is so easy. I don't understand. I really have a hard time understanding why more people are not signing up for this, right? Eventually, every site is going to require KYC. One day that's going to happen. So you want to get to the ones that don't and create accounts there. So if they switch over and require it, you may be able to get around that. And it's so easy. All you do is you just put your email address and you set up a password and you hit sign up. You got to click our link down below to do it, of course. But it really is. You don't need a VPN. You don't need anything. You just sign up and trade. It's really, really nice. So, but yeah. So here's Bitcoin. We're on the daily chart here. You know, we got a big green dot, 2 big green dots on market cipher back in March. You can see how they played out. The big green dot, the big green dots. There really is something to those. You see, this is the last one, and it doesn't mean it's going to go up right away. Sometimes it does, but it means that things are turning bullish. And right now we are getting to the range here. It's do or die here for Bitcoin, not permanently, but here in the short term. It's red dot on market cipher. I'm going to give you guys a link for market cipher later next week, I guess. I think I'm shaving my beard. I think I'm going to shave my beard too. I've been thinking about it a lot. It's so itchy. Need to get that beard shaved and start it over again. We would be starting it over, but you guys won't believe what I look like without a beard. I look like a totally different person. So, but I haven't decided on that yet. So don't hold me to it. Okay, so let's look very briefly before we look at other stuff here. Let's look at what is going on with the levels on the daily. So right now you can see we are firmly, it hit today 108, 108. It hit 108 today. Hit it exactly, as you can see. It's pretty much there right now. It's at 108.4 right now. And we've been telling you guys that this is a very important level and we need to hold this. So if we're going to get our bullish megaphone pattern, then that means this has got to stay here. If this goes far below, if this goes below 107 especially, I mean, you can expect a lot more down action. If it gets down below 107, you could be looking at 98,000 potentially. And look, we have to just, I have to give you facts. I have to tell you exactly what is happening here. Exactly what is happening here. We're on the verge of losing the bull market. We're also on the verge of $260,000. It's the scenarios. The proof is, or the hammer is hitting the nail like right now. We have to see it hold this 108. And right now it's at 108.327. It's looking like it doesn't want to do well. It could do something where it comes straight out of this and pops back up because, you know, very similar to when you see it go up and then pop back down. But overall, this is my most important level here in this entire bull market is this 108. It was an all-time high for Bitcoin when it hit it the first time. But we've retraced all the gains after it climbed back to 108,000 and went up. And you can tell them what I'm saying is true because just look at these candles here. Look at these candles. It bounced off. It got above that 108 range and it held and boom, 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 boom. It was straight up. So that was good. All right, let's talk about Pyth and Chainlink, man. This is just, man, you know one of the things I hate doing the most? I really hate saying the phrase, I told you so. It's not a very humbling thing, but I told you so. U.S. Commerce Department partners with Chainlink to bring macro data on chain. Is crypto adoption rising? We've got this post from Chainlink. Is the same one? Yeah, it's the same one. So here's the post from Chainlink, basically, but we'll read into what it says here. In a blog post, Chainlink shared that through its Oracle infrastructure, critical indicators such as real gross domestic product, GDP, personal consumption expenditures, or PCE price index, and the real final sales to private domestic purchasers are now available across 10 blockchain systems. Man, that's big, guys. 10 blockchain systems. Very impressive. Very impressive. But wait, there's more. Here's Pyth. Price of everything everywhere. What's going on with Pyth right now? In fee monetization, Pyth Network stands among the leading earners. Look at this. Now it's leveling up by delivering U.S. Department of Commerce economic data directly on Sonic. Sonic sub-second finality, your data is ready faster than a blink. And I guess that's Phantom, right? Phantom changed to Sonic. So 23 US GDP data points are live permissionless on 100 plus chains. Pyth is bringing the price of everything everywhere. And we have been telling you about that this is what Pyth is. It is the financial blockchain. It's the financial Oracle project. It's the only one that has a chance to compete with Chainlink. And the US government has now verified everything I just said. They're choosing Pyth to literally provide GDP stats. I guess you're going to be able to see some of this if we went to the platform itself. And you can see it has all kinds of different GDPs. It's at 32 of them, 23 US GDP data points. So in my mind, this is a really big thing for Chainlink. Chainlink is also included in this. Chainlink is expanding rolling policy and compliance. I'd say that Sergey Nazarov, he took about 8 years off. I think about 2017 to recently, he wasn't doing very much. He was everywhere. Maybe 2018 was a better timeline, 2018, 2019. But he wasn't doing anything really. And now he is, he's doing interviews, and Chainlink is like they worked on partnerships forever, and then they just let it coast for a while, and now they're really back because of the institutional. I guess they had to wait for the institutions really to catch up to them. So, but today the real key is, does this surprise everybody? Does Chainlink bringing macro data on chain to the U.S. Commerce Department, is that really super bullish or super surprising? I think at this point, because of the Chainlink ties to Trump and his family, I think you shouldn't be surprised by this at all with Chainlink. However, who was telling you about Pyth? Who was telling you about Pyth? If I remember correctly, it was me. You look at the last 7 days, Pyth up 103%, 99 point CRO with its news up 99.6%, and Chainlink is not going to get the same movement. Where is it? See, Chainlink needs this stuff. Did I just not see it? I must have passed it. Nope. It's up 36.3% for the week, and that's good. It's down today. A lot of 2-3% losers today, 4 or 5% as well. It looks like, yeah. So the worst one, there are some that are double digits. One is 26%, but in general, most of these are up. I guess we actually ranked it by that, so we should have known that. But I was surprised to get down to see Chainlink so down so far. When you click the 90-day, there it is. Chainlink pops up. You got Chainlink, Mantle, a project I like, Pyth, and CRO. You could not have gone wrong if you were listening to my picks I made several months ago. So you couldn't time this better. I'm right back to live streaming, and boom, here it is, just showing you once again. There is a reason why, I am the big boy. Okay, so now let's go and look. We'll look at charts a little bit more at the end. Crypto ETF market expands, 92 filings waiting the SEC decision. You can see Solana has 8 ETFs. XRP has 7 ETF applications. Grayscale is seeking to convert 5 trusts into ETFs. So, but Solana and XRP are leading the way, and I think we're going to get maybe the approval of one of these at some point. It's just there's so much bullish news, and what happens is when you get to the and they're saying the approval of those. This may be James Seifert, or they're just making comments on what he said. But the market analysts expect ETF approval could drive an altcoin rally, and that would definitely be true, I think. But guys, you just got to know, it does this every single market. Every market we get towards the end, and all this bullish stuff is coming out, and you're like, if this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and you think it's going to happen soon, and it actually plays out over 4 or 5 years. And it goes through the regular cycle of the Bitcoin bull markets, which is a 4-year cycle. So with the 4-year cycle intact, I guess would put us, sometime in October, November, December, getting a high and then going back down. November of this year would be 4 years since Bitcoin hit the all-time high of 69,000 back in 2021. So 4 years. Ethereum, man, I tell you, there is, look, you got this story talking about Bitcoin may be able to go to $260,000. We have this one, which is the same pattern, the megaphone pattern. Could make ETH possibly bullish for years. 10K emerges as a target. Ether traders say a multi-year bullish cycle has begun with $10,000 as the desired target. And guys, this is exactly what I told you about. I told you, why is this guy holding a flamethrower? He's setting everything on fire so the bulls are running. Ethereum is setting the world on fire so the bulls can run. That's pretty neat. I always like their imagery or visuals. But the point is that we can't have it both ways. We can't have Bitcoin bull market cycle stay intact and then all of these altcoins like Ethereum and Solana start running away and doing their own thing. That's going to make the market much, much, much more unpredictable, which it will happen at some point maybe. But you just have to understand how drastic that cut in Bitcoin is. That cut, it's about to hit 20 million coins, and there's only 21 million ever. So let's see. I guess when it gets to, I can't remember where it is with the 50, 25, 12.5, 6.25%. So I guess this is like 3.175% is where the next halving will put Bitcoin, and that very few Bitcoin will come out at all during that time. So, but I thought it was interesting that we're seeing more on this megaphone pattern. At first, they were talking about the pattern on Bitcoin, but now you're looking at a $10,000 target or at least a $5,000 target for Ethereum in the short run. If there is a $10,000 target in the short run, man, that would be phenomenal. What would that put their market cap at? Let me go here. Right now, Bitcoin's coming in at 110,494. If it were to double, it would be what, over $1 trillion in market cap. And I think it's possible that Ethereum could get to $1 trillion in market cap. It's going to be really hard. I don't think it's that likely of a chance. I mean, I think, guys, look, the fact is that right now we could already be at the end of the bull market. Do you guys realize that? You realize that we could be in the bear market right now. Like right now, we could be in the bear market. If Bitcoin doesn't climb back above all-time highs, technically this would be the beginning of the bear market, because you go from the highest point to the lowest point is the bear market, or excuse me, the bear market, and then the lowest point back to a new high, where the highest point reaches in the 4-year cycle. That's the opposite. So, it's just hard for me to see everything. It's hard to see a lot of these bullish stories that make it sound like there's no way it can go down and it's all upwards from here. And that's what people read. That's why it's popular. It's what people want. It's why people watch YouTube. It's probably why you're watching. And I'm just here to tell you, this is my 5th bull market, I guess. Is that right? Let's see. 12, 17, 20. Yeah. This is my 4th. This would be my 4th bull market. But